Hey guys, it's Rafi again with K Suspension. What we're going to be talking about today is how to install a triple electric fan system into your Jeep Cherokee. Now we're going to show you guys step by step onto how to remove everything, install all the new components, including the new controller. As far as installing our bypass harness, please go ahead and check out one of our other videos that explains how to do that. In this case, for any of you guys looking to do this upgrade, hopefully this video helps you out. So let's get started. This setup here is going to have three 10-inch electric fans to replace your one electric fan and your mechanical clutch fan. We also have included a shroud for best airflow, and on this shroud as well we do have the dividers in order to separate out each bay. That way we get maximum cooling efficiency. Now we are going to also be putting this on a controller. So two fans will be controlled based off of engine temperature as well as with the air conditioning, just as your standard electric fan is. And the third electric fan will be based completely off of a switch. Now you can wire this up however you'd like, run all three off a switch. In this case though, we're going to be putting two on a controller. The controller does handle up to two fans. You can get controllers out there that'll handle more if you want it all based off of electronic control. What this is going to do is help just take the drag load off the engine from the clutch fan. This is not a fix by any means for any overheating issues, poor circulation issues as far as your coolant goes. This is not a fix for that. Okay, I just want you guys to understand that. This will not fix any overheating issues. This is just to eliminate the clutch drag and throw in three electric fans so that we get more air across the coil. If you do have overheating issues, I recommend you start taking apart your cooling system. Take a look at your water pump, thermostat, cooler lines, make sure all the passages in the head aren't blocked. So, and that being said, we're going to go ahead and install this guy. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's get going. So our first plan of action is to go ahead and remove the clutch fan shroud and the electric fan so we can get them out of the way. So now that you got the shroud and the fan out, we're going to go ahead and loosen up the four nuts holding on the fan clutch and take off that clutch assembly. Once you have the clutch out, go ahead and put those nuts back on and tighten them down to hold that pulley in place. So now that you went ahead and got everything all taken apart, we're going to remove this front cross brace. That way we can lift this up and we can access the radiator. So at this point, there's a couple ways you can do it. One, you could disconnect your lines, go ahead and lift the radiator completely out, put the shroud on the outside, and then put everything back in. In our case, we're actually going to be leaving the radiator intact and installed, and we're just going to be throwing the shroud over it. Now one thing that you'll notice about the shroud is it has these holes so that we can mount it underneath the radiator on those pins that go on the bottom. Those pins are going to go straight into the uniframe there. So we're going to go ahead and just lift this guy up and set that shroud in. So once you got the shroud in, we're going to go ahead and take off the right fan and the left fan. The right one, so closest to the radiator fill neck, we're actually going to have to grind down a little bit on the inside here. That way we can fit it right on top of the steering box. There's a screw there so you can adjust your tension for your steering. That part of the fan just sits right on top of it, so grinding it down a little bit gives you enough clearance to sit flush. And on the left side here, we have our fan taken off in order to run our controller. So this controller is preset to 160 degrees to kick on. And then this style is a probe. So this probe is going to go inside the radiator fins up near the top radiator hose. So we're just going to go ahead and set this inside. Now once that probe is installed, we can go ahead and put the fan back on, and let's go ahead and mount it all up and run our wires. So guys, we're going to start running wire on the rightmost fan first, so driver's side. Now, for you people with OBD2 systems, so 96 and up, you will trigger a check engine light if you don't hook up your original electric fan harness. Because when it calls for it to come on and it doesn't sense the load, you're going to get a CEL. Now to avoid that, what we're going to do is actually run this fan to the original connection from your old electric fan. Now I just cut it about halfway, so if you ever did want to go back to your old E-fan, you can just splice it right back into it and you can hook it right up. This vehicle is not OBD2, this is for demonstration purposes, but I already have the K-suspension electric fan harness installed, so everything will be working just as normal. I have our ground and power here from the original pigtail, going to hook into the original side of the vehicle, and that's just going to clip in. Boom, and done. Now you will have control via a switch, and it'll still retain the original factory settings without triggering a check engine light. So let's mount this baby up. Under the vehicle now, we're bolting up the fans. Now, while doing this, what we're going to be doing is running the wiring. So the ground cable is actually going to have a ring terminal on it, and we're just going to mount it onto the aluminum shroud right with that fan mounting bolt. So just go ahead and tighten that guy down there. That way the ground is secure on both of the front fans. Now again, if you're running everything off a switch, you can go ahead and run the ground the same way on the last fan here. Again, we're only running this one off a switch. These two will be off a controller. We have our male spade connectors on each of these fans. We're going to go ahead and run our controller wires down so that we can hook it up to each fan. Let's get going. Alright, we got the radiator support back on. Now we're going to go ahead and run our controller. This controller here is based off of one relay and a few wires. Inside of it, inside the body here, there's going to be an adjustment screw. You can turn up or down the temperature. Again, it is preset at 160. You can turn it up a little bit if you want the fans to kick on a little bit later. Now there's going to be a few colors coming off this controller. We have red, black, orange, blue, and yellow. Your red is going to be your hot lead. That goes to your battery positive. Our black is going to be our ground. You can hook it up to the battery or a chassis ground, whichever it is that you choose. Our orange and blue wires are going to go to the first and second fan. Okay. And then we have a yellow wire. This yellow wire is to an ignition source. That way when you turn off the engine, it kills power to the relay so your fans don't stay constantly running until the temperature is satisfied, because that'll drain down your battery. So we're going to go ahead and wire in this controller. Oh, and one thing I did forget was the green wire. The green wire goes to your AC clutch. So you hook it up to the positive lead of your AC clutch. That way when you turn on your AC, the fans will come on automatically, even if you are not at temp yet. So you can hook that up if you have AC. Let's run some wire. Alright everyone, so we've mounted our fans, run our controller, got everything all hooked up. Now it's time to give her the old fire up and test it out. Well guys, all of our hard work is paid off. The fans are working wonderfully with the controller. The third fan is working great with the switch. We measured almost 1700 CFM under load on each fan. That's well over 5,000 CFM total, which is well above what the factory setup is. We should be running good. Just tested it out with the AC on, idling here for the past about half an hour. It's about 95 degrees out here, and it never went above 210. So I'd say that's a win. The actual temp controller cycled off because it got down below what I set it at, which is awesome. So that means the fans are doing their job, air is moving across that coil, things are going to stay nice and smooth and cool. So with that said, I do hope that this video helped you guys out. Don't forget to subscribe and check out our website, ksuspensionlifts.com. Don't forget to check out our Facebook too, facebook.com/ksuspension. I'll go ahead and throw some links down here below. And with that said, you guys have some happy trails.